Yo, yo, what's going on, everyone? It is Wednesday, March 20th, 2019. SPY finally cracked that resistance that it's been having a hard time breaching it. That made it, to the mid 284s. Then quickly pulled back like SPY normally does. Pulled back actually to previous day's low of mid 281s. Had a little bounce up to mid 282s. So obviously it gave it a lot of opportunity to the upside in the morning, and as you can see, a lot of the stocks sold off mid-afternoon. Moving forward, we actually have quite a big watch list moving into the session. We have 11 on deck. We actually have from these 11, we've had a few on watch that are setting up, and obviously we have some continuations. Waiting for some exhaustions on a couple as well. And like always, we always cherry pick the best of the best setups. Whenever our stocks set up for us, we hop in, scale in, and leave the rest and wait for the rest. So up first, we have NSTG. NSTG gap down today, yesterday morning actually, and it actually closed in the low of the day. So that gives us a nice day two continuation. It has maybe a point and a half to 2 points left. So we're going to see if this thing has a nice slow. I don't want to see much of an open, much movement in the open. I want to actually to kind of have a nice slow open, test the low of yesterday, and then if it cracks that low, I'm going to scale in. Next up, we have ECPG, almost identical chart. You can see gap down yesterday morning, closed at the low, has plenty of room to the downside. Next up, EB. EB has been just taking a massive haircut past few days, and actually, you'd think that it can't go any lower, but guess what? That's exactly when it does go lower. So this is obviously on watch. If this cracks that low of the day, then we'll scale in. But this is obviously, it's quite exhausted to the downside. Sell-off should be over, quote unquote, should be, but you never know. It always has plenty of room to go. So we'll see if this has room to go on the downside. Next up, FFIN. Another stock that gapped down yesterday, a little over 5%, actually close to 6%. I tried to test VWAP a couple of times, got stuffed out, closed at the low, like to the downside. If SPY shows us some more weakness and this thing has a hard time getting above VWAP, I definitely like this to the downside. Nice, easy, clean chart. WHD. WHD, this is one of the stocks that kind of fought all day long. Trade side was consolidated, a little bit above VWAP, a little bit below VWAP. Obviously closed on the low of the day, but this is one of those you got to be careful with. I mean, it's still a slight of an uptrend on the daily. So if it shows us some weakness midday, we'll step in. But we're gonna sit back and watch and see how this thing performs at the bell. Next up, FTDR. FTDR definitely has some room to the downside. It's been having a little bit of quite a run up since November of last year. Started to show that little bit of a curl, a little bit of a weakness to the downside. So it showed a lot of weakness yesterday in the afternoon after obviously getting stuffed out of VWAP. So we're going to check this out to the downside going into the session, see if it gives us some opportunities to step in, take some up the top. GH, obviously we've been stalking this for a few days. This thing put in its resistance a couple days ago. Found some lows yesterday and the previous day as well, putting in lower highs and lower lows, and this thing probably is going to see some more downside, at least I would say maybe to high 80s, maybe mid to high 80s. So possibly not today, but sometime in the week we're going to see some more downside action here, so just keep an eye on GH. Next up we have AIZ. AIZ has just been, it's in a downtrend, obviously, as I like. Whenever you can short a stock on downtrend, that's when you can step in. Whenever it gets stopped out at VWAP, VWAP stuffs it out. When you have a stock downtrend with the gap down, this gives you plenty of opportunity to step in and scale into a nice position trade. So this is something to the downside we're looking at. MDB, this could be another couple of days. We're just watching this thing, and it's going to get exhausted. It showed a little bit of a peak, obviously yesterday morning. Traded sideways all day, had a hard time getting above VWAP. But that doesn't mean anything. It could have another couple points to go to the upside. So we're just going to wait for this thing. It gives us a nice opportunity to the upside. We'll take it. Otherwise, we're just going to wait for this back curl. So patiently wait on this one. Domo, same thing. DOMO actually put it in the doji on the daily yesterday at the close. So it traded sideways all day long. You know, put it in that high midday at the $45 level. I'm sorry, at the upside $45 level, and it's possibly showing some weakness to the downside. So if it's showing some weakness, we're going to take this thing out. This thing has definitely been waiting to curl down. Last but not least, STNE spiked up, ran right into that wall of $44, and it hasn't even came close since. It actually closed low of the day. Had a really hard time staying above VWAP late morning. Got stuffed out of VWAP a couple of times, so we actually like this to the downside. See if we have some gap fill today, possibly Thursday as well. But let's see how this thing performs. There's a lot of action, obviously, right at the bell. So let the dust settle. Let everybody else, fight it out in the beginning. Let the dust settle, then we'll step in if it shows us some more weakness to the downside. So we got 11 going into the session. Quite a big watch list. Obviously, we're going to take a couple. Best of the best and leave the rest to actually for the next day. So that being said, stick to your stops as always. Be patient. Let the stock come to you. Again, if you have any questions, you want to come check us out, check out our 90-day course, come have a look at the site, and we'll answer all your questions. All right, guys, have a great day in the markets.